Good afternoon. Hope you're enjoying this sunny, beautiful day in the Northwest. I'm Casey Roloff, founder of Seabrook, and today we're just going to be talking about our kind of a recap of summer, and then also what's ahead this fall and winter, along with our town center update. Today, usually I do a little shorter webinar, but today I'm going to do a little more thorough webinar because there are several people interested in wanting to understand how the cottage rental program works. So I'm going to do my main part of the overview, and then at the end, anyone that wants to listen in about the cottage rental program, I'll go into a little more detail on that. Some of you are new to Seabrook, and of course some of you may have heard some of our story, but I'd like to just start from the beginning. Growing up, our family's best times were at the Oregon coast, and we again that's where we would dream and really talk about the future. And so this has all led us to have a real passion for the coast and a passion for the beach. And thankfully, I met my wife Laura, and she also spent a lot of time at the coast growing up, and so we both had this affinity for the coast. So we moved down to Lincoln City and right after college, and started a home building business, and eventually became a custom home builder, and it turned into a neighborhood developer and now a town developer. But we've been really following our passion from the very beginning, and we've always been focused on the customer experience. And thankfully, we've built now a culture of wanting to share that with a lot of new people. So, but the reason we ended up on the Washington coast is that there was so much pent-up demand in the greater Puget Sound that we thought there was a real opportunity to build a highly desirable beach town that would attract a lot of the people that were driving from the Puget Sound down to the Oregon coast. And what people think about when they think of the Oregon coast, they think about the rugged coastline, the big sandy beaches, and more importantly, these small little towns like Cannon Beach and Manzanita that dot the Oregon coast. The Washington coast didn't have that, so we saw an opportunity to build a walkable, mixed-use, new beach town. But what's so great about our location is that we've got Olympic National Park in our backyard. But from anybody looking at it from just a purely economic perspective, there were 10 times as many lodging units on the Oregon coast for every one lodging unit on the Washington coast. So we saw, again, huge pent-up demand for people that wanted to not only own vacation homes, but also vacation in these homes in this quaint town-like setting. So within a 3-hour drive, when you compare Seabrook to Cannon Beach, we have over 5 times the household wealth and over double the population, and that was based on 1999 census data. As we all know, those of us living in the Puget Sound area, Seattle, Bellevue, Kirkland, Redmond, Tacoma, everything is growing so quickly. This is beyond even what we had imagined as far as the depth of our market. This has all helped drive Seabrook's growth and future. Now, one of the things that really separates Seabrook from a lot of other destinations is the very high barriers to entry. Number one, there's a very limited amount of coastline. Number two, there's a very limited public infrastructure. So if you were to scan from, say, Seabrook down to Ocean Shores, there's no public infrastructure available for some of the land that's still vacant. There's no sewer, no water capacity, and no plans for that anytime in the future. And then the fourth barrier to entry is how we run our cottage rental program. We have a very sophisticated vacation rental program that not only brings our owners that have decided to go in the rental program income, but it's also given them this feeling of safety and security, knowing that their beach house is being watched over and taken care of. So this next slide really speaks to the pent-up demand in the Puget Sound for a Washington Coast beach town, and we've averaged approximately 20 to 25% year-over-year growth over 9 years in a row. And again, that just really validates the pent-up demand in this market. We've also driven home values to a place that the Washington Coast hasn't seen. And I have got to thank my beautiful family that's on this picture here. We had a few little write-ups in the Puget Sound Business Journal. And for those of you who don't know, we live here full-time and have been raising our family here. And that ability to live in the community that you create really allows us to have a lot more attention to detail as we build out the community. And many of our amazing team members that have helped build Seabrook are also living full-time in Seabrook. So if you walk around, that's the difference you feel when you come to a place like Seabrook. Oops. Sorry, I skipped an extra slide. We had a really great August as far as home sales went. We sold about $10 million in new home sales. We sold 10 of those in our new South of Market neighborhood, and 2 of those in our Elk Creek neighborhood, and then 1 of the few remaining homes in our Farm District neighborhood. And this is just an overview of Seabrook. This is actually a little bit dated, but gives you kind of a perspective of the number of homes built. This does not show the Farm District, but it does give you a good bird's eye view of what we're building. And you can see where the town center is going in here, if you can see my slide. And then also, actually, there's my arrow. Hopefully you can see that. Here's where the town center is going, and then this is the South of Market neighborhood that I'll be talking about in a little bit. So today we have approximately 300 new homes sold and built, approximately 200 homes in our cottage rental program. So about 60% of our homes are in the cottage rental program. And we have 15 businesses that have opened since Seabrook's inception and have really are building the town that we all have been dreaming of. And in 2018, we'll be opening up at least 15 new businesses on our Market Street. And I'll, again, go into more detail in a little bit further in the presentation. Those people that have purchased our homes in Seabrook, we have a 95% satisfaction rate. This is taken 1 year after the close of escrow. So we work very hard, not only at the beginning of the house construction, but all the way to the end and beyond into the warranty, to make sure that our customers are very happy with their purchase and very happy with the town itself. Those who have purchased in Seabrook have really been the innovators and the early adopters. These are people that have bought into the vision of Seabrook and the idea and dream of Seabrook. But what's happening now is really going to change that as we build out our town center. And we see there's a lot of opportunity with that. All right, another slide here. Sorry about that. So some people ask us, well, who are buying these houses? And first and foremost, we have our vacationers who own the homes not only as a vacation home for their family, but also as an investment opportunity. And then we also cater to a lot of people who are living in Seabrook full-time as retirees, singles. We have several families that have moved into the area because we have our Montessori school. So the beauty of Seabrook is that we have a really diverse group of homeowners and guests that frequent the place, and it's the full-time residents that really create the heartbeat in Seabrook, and that's what you really feel when you come into our town. We actually, again, live there, work there, and play there. some of the perks for full-time and part-time residents. Some people, of course, enjoy just the tight-knit community and people knowing their name, and we really truly are a community and like a big family. And some people really love being a part of that and are imagining themselves living in a place like this. And it might seem, to some from a distance seem contrived, but we're just real people with real lives and, living our dream, living at the coast. And hopefully that shows when you come and visit. We also meet all the basic needs of the resident, and that's why building out our town center will only attract more retirees and full-time people that want to live in a mixed-use walkable beach town. Starting the Montessori school has also attracted more young families that see Seabrook as a place that they can actually live, and in some cases people are merchants that own businesses in town or even telecommute from Seabrook and will typically make a trip or two a month into Seattle for meetings. And then the part that we love the most is that our kids are free range. It's very rare for young kids under 12 years old to be able to ride bikes, walk, skateboard, scooter all around town as they please and feel that independence. And what that does is it really gives the children an opportunity to meet lots of people and become, again, more independent as they grow up. And it's been just a blast to watch our kids grow up here. And then the natural landscape. We not only have the town, but we're right at the edge of some of the most beautiful natural environments on the West Coast with the beaches, of course, the forests that surround Seabrook, and, of course, Olympic National Park to our north. Some of the perks for those owners that actually rent out their homes is that, first and foremost, people want to build traditions with their family out of the coast, and that's what really drives most of our sales. But the ability to defray some of their homeownership costs through the rental program is very attractive to, again, a lot of our homeowners. So they basically find a balance of using the home themselves, blocking it out for the times they want to use the homes, and then renting the times that they're not using their home. Some of the appreciation that we've seen in Seabrook and some of the appreciation that is anticipated with the town center coming in, we think will continue to drive people not only to buy as a personal vacation home, but also seeing the big picture and what Seabrook will become in the end. And then the year-round desirability and appeal really grows as the town continues to grow. So those are just some of the reasons our people that can't live in Seabrook full-time are choosing to purchase in Seabrook. This is the town center and the south of Market neighborhood that I'll be talking about next. So you can see all these brown buildings here and even this white block. That's actually part of the town center. Today we have frontages here on the corner, the candy store, the Salty Dog, our first merchant, and then we have the bakery and also Seaworthy Home. But this is the town center that is now getting started. All the infrastructure is put in, and the buildings that are under construction will be these two blocks in the next 12. They're either under construction or will start construction in the next 12 months. So a lot of big changes. And then we have the south of Market neighborhood, which centers around this Ocean View Park that looks through the forest and has these great ocean views. And then again, some more ocean view homes here. This is kind of a bird's eye perspective showing the town center, a new grocery store, and several new businesses that line up along Main Street that look out to the ocean. If you've been here, you've seen the town hall, just to put it in perspective on where that is. And here are actually some of the homes that we'll be talking about that are in the south of Market neighborhood a little bit later. So this is one of the, or actually I should say 4 of the structures that are under construction right now that'll bring in 4 new shops with residences above. Here's 4 more that are under construction, so that's a total of 8 new businesses there that are under construction and should be completed before next summer. And then we have 2 new restaurants that we just broke ground on here, and then office space above. Actually, that's where our new offices will be. And here's another image just looking up the street with these shops down below and then residences above, and this is that office building that I just showed you. So that's just one. This image right here is just showing 1/4 of what Main Street will be in the end. Here's some progress photos. Up in the left-hand corner, you've got Town Hall at the end of the street as the terminated vista, and then looking in the opposite direction, you see the ocean view, this big expansive ocean view that will never be blocked. Oops, sorry. And then up above, you can see this is to the upper right-hand corner. This is where the 2 new restaurants just broke ground. The foundation's going in right now as we speak. And then here's 4 of the shops on the north side, and then you can see the 4 shops on the south side going in here. So these are just some pictures that were taken yesterday, and construction is moving quickly now. But to build up the demand for Market Street, we had to incubate retailers in mostly temporary buildings, and we can't thank our merchants enough for being a part of growing our town center. This is really the #1 attraction that will, people think they're coming out for the coast, but it's actually the town centers and the most popular places along the coast that actually draw people. If you think about Cannon Beach, you think about Carmel, California, Laguna, La Jolla, all those places, the most desirable real estate is centered around the town centers. Here are some of the businesses that are planned. We'll be making an official announcement after we've vetted the applications and the business plans at the end of the year. But some of the businesses that we know are coming in, we have 3 new restaurants, and again, details to follow at the end of the year. We have a bookstore, a toy store, a jewelry store, a knitting store, a new brewery, a grocery store that will replace our current market, a theater up above the grocery store, an arcade down below, kind of an 80s retro arcade, and then the old market is most likely going to be infilled with a glass blowing studio. So these are just some of the businesses that are coming in the next 12 months, but there are some not on this list, and again, we'll be giving more detail on that at the end of the year. Now getting into the South of Market neighborhood, this is the park that is now under construction. This is really one of the largest parks in Seabrook, but more importantly has these great ocean views. So the town can hang out in this park and enjoy the ocean views and also be right in the town center. Here's some progress photos. Here's some houses that are already under construction. These are pre-sold houses. You can see over on the upper right-hand corner, this is the park going in, and a new playground, and a little campfire and mini amphitheater, which is basically this image also in this lower left-hand corner. And then in the bottom right-hand corner, this is the entrance to the South of Market neighborhood that hasn't been opened yet, but will be open later next year. So here's one of the houses available in the South of Market neighborhood. This is right in the center of the town center. This is the kind of home that will be great for someone that's considering the cottage rental program because it's just, again, a few short steps away from where all the action is going to be. I tell people this probably wouldn't be the house that you'd want to live in full time. This is because it's in a very, very urban environment, unless you're someone that really loves all that action. In fact, we have some couples who have retired in Seabrook, and they intentionally wanted to be right in the middle of the action, and they love watching the town center get built. So Everybody has obviously different preferences, but this is definitely a very urban house. Here's another new cottage. This is less urban. This actually has some peaks of the ocean through the trees, and it's one of our most popular floor plans, with a really nice master suite upstairs, and then a bunk room, third bedroom, and a media room downstairs. And then again, living, kitchen, dining on the main level. But this is probably one of our most popular floor plans that we just continue to improve. And here's another house, more on the grander side of things, on the corner, overlooking the park. This is about 3,500 square feet, 6 bedrooms, a media room. It has a carriage house with its own separate access off of the alley. So this is urban, but also has the ocean view, kind of the best of both. Love how this house turned out. We also are still selling homes on our ocean side, which is in Elk Creek, which is our last oceanside neighborhood. And prices start out over there above $1 million, and then go up from there. This is one of the houses that is for sale. This one, yes. This is one of the houses for sale, and just was completed on lot 311. It was just finished this summer. And this is actually one of the last remaining houses that's in the farm district. And if you haven't taken a look at the farm district, it's turning out really beautiful. The pasture's coming in. You come through the neighborhood and you see the horses out there, the barn, and then there's also the farmhouse that's being designed right now, which is really going to be the anchor to the farm district, which will have a demonstration kitchen, and we'll be inviting top chefs from Seattle and Portland in to do farm-to-table demonstrations and dinners. So the farm district is really a place that you can have more elbow room, less urban, but also has a lot of great amenities with the tennis courts, the pickleball court, of course the farm itself. We also have a community garden for anybody that wants to live full-time and have some plots. So the farm district is just a great place all around, but still only a couple minutes from town by bike, probably a 5 to 10 minute walk for most people. So that kind of concludes the overview of Seabrook. Now I'm going to get into the cottage rental program and just give you some basic understanding of how this program works. Again, many of our homeowners, about 60% of them, use our cottage rental program. The annual average 2-bedroom house is renting for about $200 a night. 3-bedroom homes, $300 a night. 4-bedroom homes, about $429, and then our oceanside homes about $740. So that gives you just a general idea. Obviously, the higher the price point, typically the higher the rent, because if it's got an ocean view, obviously the house is more expensive, but you get more income from rents. The average home here is renting between 120 and 150 nights, and our most popular homes are renting over 170 nights. Some of our homes are in the low 200 per night, but it really depends. This all depends on the homeowner, the home itself, and the location, and how much they want to use it. So obviously, people who use their home less rent their house more, and people that use their house more rent their house less. So it's really up to the homeowners, and that's what drives these averages. We get asked all the time, if I'm going to buy a house in Seabrook, what are the most popular houses? How can I make sure that my house will be successful in the cottage rental program? And so these are the basic things that we've identified in the most successful homes in our rental program. First of all, full amenities, hot tub, media room, games, books, furnished outdoor relaxation areas, like an outdoor fireplace. Those are all things that really drive people to book a home when they're looking through the pictures. Pet friendliness, it's not a must, but those homes that are in our cottage rental program that are pet friendly do very well. We also have some houses that are hypoallergenic that also do very well, that, you know, people that actually don't want any pets in their home. So owners are able to create little niches for themselves, and we also have some houses that cater to disabled guests, and again, those homes do well. So there's always different niches that people can carve out when they think about purchasing a home and what they're going to do with it. Also, just a lot of personality and character, not only on the exterior of the home, which usually comes standard, but also creating that on the interior of the home with good colors and furnishings and making it very comfortable. Obviously, keeping it available during the high season dates. So our really savvy homeowners that want to use the house a lot but also rent it in the peak times, they allow us to rent it in all those premium times, but then they block out weeks that are less popular, and it's great because we see those homeowners out at Seabrook sometimes as much as homeowners that don't even rent. And so a lot of our owners have figured out how to still get a lot of use out of their home, but also maximize their income. Obviously, great pictures on the website. So some of our owners do a little bit of social media advertising of their own with their own Facebook page. And they also spend a little bit of money each year on the house to keep it maintained and kept up at a high level. So here are some kind of breakdowns of homes from $550,000 to almost $1 million. So the minimum down payment now is about 20%. So for a $550,000 home, $110,000 down, an 80% mortgage, monthly payment and interest is about $2,000 a month. Monthly taxes and insurance, $480, and then our common area maintenance dues are $190 a month. So that brings the cost of ownership to about $31,000. And then, of course, the more expensive homes at the far end on the right, you're looking at about $53,000 in annual cost of ownership. This next slide shows some of the homes that are more popular in our rental program and how they perform as far as on the net revenue to the homeowner. So the 2-bedroom house is bringing in about $38,000. Seabrook keeps $14,000, which is our 37% management fee, and the homeowner nets out about $24,000 for a 2-bedroom home and some of our more popular homes, again, that are well furnished and again kept up and again available during the peak seasons. And then you can see how this grows from $24,000 to $62,000 on the ocean side. So it all depends on what you want to purchase, how much you want to spend, and you feel comfortable spending. And then it's just a matter of crunching the numbers and seeing how these work. But these are just some examples to give you an idea of how a good portion of the expenses or the expenses of owning a vacation home can be greatly mitigated using our cottage rental program. Some of the considerations for owning, of course, is again defraying some of the costs of ownership. We have owners that are maybe planning on, or that I should say have rented their house for 5-6 years, and then now they're moving out full time, and a big portion of their house has been paid for through the cottage rental program through their guests. Also, personal use. It's very rare to have a property that you can not only earn income from, but you can also enjoy. Most people that own rental homes, they never even go inside a rental home, but these are rental homes that can be used by the homeowner. And there's a lot of protections that come in place here as well, because you actually get to see your home more often and check on it. Sometimes people who own homes and that rent out month to month, you don't know what's going on inside. Here, it's very transparent. You get to come and see your home and see how it's doing, and check in with our cottage rental staff and make sure we're meeting all of your expectations. Also, we don't like to talk about appreciation a lot because nobody has a crystal ball and nobody knows what's ahead. But if you look historically at these compact walkable beach towns like the ones I mentioned earlier, and then also some of the walkable beach towns that we patterned Seabrook after, like Seaside, Florida, as the town center matures, the real estate values increase pretty dramatically within that short walking distance of the town center and biking distance of the town center. So we expect to see more appreciation than most vacation home communities in the entire Northwest because of this town center that is under construction. Our growth will expand the year-round desirability and appeal of the town. We create our events in our quietest weekends, the ones that we need to draw the most people. For example, this weekend we have the Bigfoot Brew Fest. It was typically a very slow weekend, and we're almost at 90% occupancy right now, and there's a good chance we could still sell out going into this weekend. So we tend to spend our money on events in the quieter off-season markets, or I should say weekends, so that we fill up those homes that are in the cottage rental program. But it also just makes Seabrook a fun place to go any time of the year. If you are interested in coming and seeing us and you can't make it this weekend to the Bigfoot Brew Fest, we do have our Seabrook Fall Showcase coming up on Saturday, October 14th, and we have, I think, about 20 homes that will be open for viewing, not only new homes for sale, but also homes that are in the resale market. So you can get a really good feel for the types of homes and the price points and what's available in Seabrook. So it's a good time if you're considering a purchase in Seabrook. This is a great weekend to come and check out and get into a lot of homes, because as you know, if you've looked at homes here before, it's sometimes very difficult to get into our homes because they are rented so much, which is a good thing if you're looking at this as an investment property. So this weekend we've blocked out several homes so that you can see these firsthand and get comfortable with what's available. We have some other events coming up. Obviously, the Brew Fest, the Showcase of Homes, which is October 14th. And then we've got a pumpkin carving demonstration and contest. We actually have professional pumpkin carvers that come out. The kids love watching them, and then, of course, they get to carve out their own. And then we'll have a Halloween costume contest on October 27th, which is a Saturday, right in advance of Halloween, so you can come out here and warm up with your Halloween costume. And then October 28th, we have a town trick-or-treating. Actually, that is October 28th is the Saturday. Okay, and the 27th is the costume contest. So I had that wrong. So Friday the 27th is the costume contest, and the 28th the town trick-or-treating. So that is an overview of Seabrook. Hopefully you've hung with me all this time. If you have any questions, please text them into the box, and I'm going to try to answer some of those questions. Obviously, if you're interested in purchasing a home, our sales team is always ready to answer your questions and send you information and help you organize a trip out to tour some homes. So one of the questions I have here that was sent in is, when will the town green park be completed? And that should be completed by the end of next summer. So we expect we're full speed ahead on that park and expect to have that open and available for use by next summer. The second question I have is, are there any other town amenities planned in the next few years? Yes, there are. One of them is a second pool that will be built in the farm district, and that will be a larger outdoor heated saltwater pool. And if you're interested in learning more about that, again, reach out to our sales team and they can give you an idea of where that will be. It's a little bit south of the current farm district, near Elk Creek. Not the Elk Creek neighborhood, but the actual creek of Elk Creek. The next question I have is, can I park an electric vehicle at Seabrook? And the answer is yes. We do have some charging stations, and we're adding more charging stations in our town center. But also, some of our owners are creating a niche by adding a plug-in with their home, which also adds to the cottage rental use. So people that are obviously have electric cars, they prefer to park their car next to their cottage or their home. So that's something we encourage our buyers to do when they build a new house is to add an electric charging station, because we do get a lot of electrical vehicles out in Seabrook, and that will only increase. A couple more questions here. How many houses are full-time homeowners? I would say there's about 150 of us now, and growing. New babies being born, families growing, and just more people moving into town that don't have children. And that's, again, what Seabrook's really all about. Is we have a really diverse background of homeowners that live full-time and part-time. Another question here is, what percentage down is required when you purchase a home? Most people are putting a minimum of 20% down when they purchase a home, and that's what really stabilizes our real estate market and why we've been so resilient even in more challenging times, is that our owners put skin in the game, and that creates a lot of confidence for others that are buying. So when you see houses going up in Seabrook, they're typically pre-sold, and there's a considerable down payment made. Can you give some? The question is, can you give some color on education, how you or other families have approached it? Well, we do have a local public school just a mile up the road, Pacific Beach, and we're actually one of their big supporters, or biggest supporters, through our Seabrook Foundation. But we did create our own school, North Beach Montessori, which is an LLC, and I can't say enough great things about our staff and the program that they're running. They're able to not only have a hands-on Montessori program, which is kindergarten through 8th grade, but also they use the town as their laboratory, from the beaches to the wetlands to the forests, but also the town center. They're learning about small businesses, and they're learning about how communities get built. And they have the independence in town, again, that free range lifestyle that kids get to have. I mean, my kids, they hop on their bikes in the morning and ride to school with their backpacks, and they ride their bikes home, and hop on a pony. So they have a pretty good lifestyle out here, and it's really showing in as they mature and become teenagers. And I should say also, we have 2 older daughters that go to Hoquiam High School, which has also been a good choice for us. It's about a 25-minute drive, but it's been well worth it, and both of our older kids have really transitioned well into the high school and have gotten involved in leadership and the sports and things like that. So next question is medical care in the area. We do have a common area advisory board that is creating a subcommittee that will be focused on emergency services and medical care in Seabrook. And so the hope is to have our own urgent care clinic in short order. And we obviously have several homeowners who are physicians and nurse practitioners and so on. And we're getting some good guidance from them on how to get this set up and get it up and running. The next question I have here, and this is the last question, if I didn't answer your question, we will reach out to you with answers to those. But what types of food will be available in the new 3 restaurants? Right now, there is an oyster bar, a high-end oyster bar with a cocktail bar that will be more adults focused. There's also a southern style restaurant coming in that will do barbecue on an open flame. It's going to be amazing. But a lot of the other southern dishes that people love, and they'll be open breakfast, lunch, and dinner. And then we also have Sublime, which is more of a healthy, organic food option. They do fresh pressed juices, smoothies, quinoa bowls, and they also have a great fish taco. So they're going to be open early next year. And I have one last note here. It says, hoping for Mexican food. And I am too, and we're working on that. So don't be surprised that there's starting out with a taco trailer very soon. So again, if you're interested in more details, just stay connected to us, as we'll be making some really exciting announcements at the end of this year on the evolution of our town center. So thank you, everybody, for taking the time to listen in and learn more about Seabrook, and we hope to see you out at the beach soon.